Hello and welcome everyone to the March 27th episode of This Week in Kirkland, the official podcast of the City of Kirkland, bringing you timely topics and noteworthy news delivered to you every week. I'm your host, Jim Lopez, one of two deputy city managers here at the city, joined today as always by two members of our podcast team.
Kate Ryan.
And David Walbrecht.
As well as our special guest, Parks Superintendent.
That's right.
Jason Filan.
Happy to be here.
Welcome, Jason.
The myth, the legend.
Yeah. The myth, the legend, the superintendent.
Right.
And that's a recent thing, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Nice.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Nice.
From Parks Operations Manager to Parks Superintendent.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
What are you
Well-
doing for fun these days, man? Other than getting promoted.
And getting ready for the Mariners?
A lot of opportunity to serve lately.
Yeah.
It's a busy job for sure.
Yeah.
Any trips or anything you got going on?
I'm a new grandpa. My
Congratulations.
wow.
son and daughter wants to have a little child, a little Lake and Lynn, and so my wife is all about going to Eastern Washington these days.
Yeah.
That's super
Yeah.
great.
Oh,
Yeah.
congrats.
I usually say with every new baby born, hope springs eternal for the Boston Red Sox, but no. Hope springs eternal for the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, maybe so, right?
Yeah. Because you got your season ticket holder, right?
I am. Yeah.
Did you listen to our Aaron Goldsmith show?
No, I didn't. No.
Mm-hmm. That's all right.
Check it out.
We'll have to check that out. Well, we're excited to hear all about the Parks Job Fair.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to talk about that. And you're going to share some stories with us.
Sure.
Have you really been with the city 35 years?
I've been here since 1990. Yeah. Hired as a seasonal kid back in 1990.
Wow.
Jeez.
So we're going to talk about some of the interesting experiences you had.
Sure.
From this wealth of knowledge over here. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
But before we get into all that, here's what's going on this week in Kirkland. Imagine this, everybody. Kirkland's next big business success story, and you get a front row seat.
Boom.
Kate,
Ooh.
tell us all about the business pitch competition.
Yep, that's right. It's happening April 9th at the Kirkland Performance Center. This is a night where entrepreneurs will pitch their ideas for a chance to win funding. Pretty cool. Three businesses will win $5,000 each. It's
Yeah.
awesome. The audience gets to vote for a People's Choice Award.
So you come to the event, you get a vote.
Boom. Hey.
The event is free, super fun and inspiring, and it's a chance to support local innovation. So
Wow.
that's like a win-win,
Win.
all around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super
So come on down,
That's
share our
super cool.
business, our future business leaders,
And vote.
and vote.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Hey, we're throwing the community celebration you won't want to miss. David?
It's true. So we've already started letting you know about this.
Yeah.
You'll start to hear more details as we go. But join us May 13th for the State of the City address by Mayor Curtis, as well as our Community Appreciation Night. One big event
Yeah.
at the Kirkland Performance
It's
Center.
just simply
Super
an
fun.
event not to be missed.
That's
Absolutely,
right.
yeah. Performances, food, chance to honor Kirkland's amazing volunteers.
Some of us have been known to do a little singing.
A little dancing.
A little dancing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a really fun evening.
And it's happening again this year
Happening again.
in homage to that Broadway musical turned film phenomenon, Wicked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yes.
Little teaser.
Teaser.
Indeed. Ooh, yeah. Stay tuned to future
Stay tuned.
podcasts. Hear more previews.
And of course, this is our, in addition to the an amazing State of the City presentation,
yeah, by the
this
mayor.
is our way we honor our amazing volunteers.
That's right.
All the love and appreciation that we get from our volunteers, we express a lot of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Big,
Yeah.
big
For that.
shout out to all the folks that work out in the parks because we have lots of
Yeah.
volunteers
You got
in
a lot.
parks.
You
Yeah.
have like a huge.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
for
Parks
sure.
volunteers are very well represented.
Yeah.
Community
For sure.
appreciation.
Yeah, a ton of awesome Green Kirkland stewards and folks out there getting after it. helping us.
Hopefully, you'll be in the
Yeah.
crowd.
I am there sometimes.
Yeah. Will you be wearing a tux?
I don't know about that. I don't think so.
All right. Well, some of us will be. Hey, if you or someone you know has federal or military experience and is looking for their next career move, listen up.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. The Kirkland Police Department is hiring and offering public safety testing vouchers to cover exam costs.
Oh, that's great.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you've got experience in service, leadership, public safety, this could be a great next opportunity for you. KPD is a community-focused department that values integrity and teamwork. It's a really great team to be a part of. If you're interested, reach out to policerecruiting@kirklandwa.gov.
Yeah, take us up on that offer.
Absolutely.
Amazing organization. Okay. Ever thought about making making your yard greener and more sustainable. Well, I have.
Yeah, well, hey, this next one for you then, Jim.
Yeah.
Now's the perfect
Now's the
time.
perfect time.
Yeah. So with the Yard Smart Rain Rewards program, say that 7 times fast. Yard Smart Rain Rewards. Okay, got it. Kirkland homeowners can get up to $5,000
Whoa.
in rebates. Yeah.
$5,000.
Yeah, there's
That's
a lot
real
of
money.
$5,000
Yeah.
tossing around
Just-
this.
yeah.
Yeah, we got businesses getting $5,000. We got
The new 20?
rebate. Yeah, I don't know. And so, get $5,000 in rebates to install rain gardens and native landscaping.
Nice.
I bet Jason, you might know a little thing or two
Jason,
about
this is your
about those things, but
this is up your street.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We have lots of lawns out there within the system, and some of them actually get naturally watered from lake water, so it's kind of cool.
Hey,
Yeah.
check that out.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, if your home might even qualify for driveway upgrades involving permeable pavers.
That's
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's environmental.
Those little
Fancy.
things like water can go down. Anyway, you can tell how technically experienced I am.
Where the water goes
yeah,
down.
yeah,
Okay,
you know,
cool.
it's the little thing where the water
Those
goes.
spaces.
Yes, those little spaces. Oh, gosh. So find out if you're eligible and schedule a free site visit from people who actually know what they're doing
Yes.
and actually know what they're talking about. Kirkland.
And those would be the people at the Yard Smart program.
That's right.
Right.
KirklandLaw.gov/YADSMAT.
Wicked smart.
Wicked smart. Hey, you ready for boating season, everybody?
Oof.
2025 seasonal boat launch cards are available now.
Yeah, it's that time, I guess.
That's a big deal, Jay.
It is.
Yeah.
People do like to launch.
Yeah.
So launch fees are required April 1st through October 31st. So a seasonal boat launch card is a great way to launch all season long. It costs $70 for Kirkland residents. There's also single-use fees as an option.
Okay.
You can get your seasonal card online or in person at City Hall.
Yeah,
Wow, check that
excellent.
out.
Good to know.
It's not bad for a season.
Yeah. The next meeting of the Kirkland City Council is on Tuesday, April 1st. Here's what's on the agenda. On the business agenda, Council will review the 2025 work plan for expanded council engagement with the community.
Yep, I'll be giving that one, Jim. Council will also receive a briefing on the draft 2025-2027, so the next few years of the planning work program. This, of course, guides the work of our planning and building departments, work on long-range planning projects, and council will also receive an update on the legislative priorities agenda as the state legislative session kind of comes to a close.
Yes.
Nice. Prior to the business agenda on the study session, council will discuss financing options for the Houghton Village property.
Yeah, that will be interesting. Hey, everybody, council meetings are streamed live on the city's YouTube channel, Facebook page, and, of course, on the city's website. So if you miss it, you
Check
can
it out.
catch it there.
There you go.
Yeah.
I want to jump in, Jim, and say that we're also streaming the Planning Commission meetings now.
Oh, that's right.
Check that out. All right.
Yes,
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah, thanks, Nate.
Very nice.
That's really helpful to know.
Yeah.
Hey, we have to take a moment to say thank you, everybody.
Woo! Thank you, dear listeners.
Big thank you.
Big thank you. We started this podcast, I don't know, coming on a year and a half, 2
Yeah.
years, somewhere in there.
Yep, somewhere in there.
A way to keep Kirkland informed, connected, and entertained. Like any new thing, we're like, gosh, we'll see if
See if it works.
Yeah, see if it sticks. Well, we are now celebrating 10,000 downloads
Wow.
of our podcast.
How about that,
Oh,
Jay?
That's awesome.
Right?
Yeah. So thank you. Please share the podcast with others if you think they'll enjoy it. Help us keep our audience and listener base growing and connecting.
Thank you,
Yes.
everybody. Really,
Yeah, thank
from the
you.
bottom of our hearts, we appreciate you listening to our show.
Thank you. Thank
Spread the word. Hey, a couple of events you should check out. Kate?
Yeah, there's several stewardship in the park events coming up. 7, in fact, in the last
golly.
weekend of March 28th through April 1st. Check those out. No tools or experience required, just a love of our parks.
Stewardship in the parks,
Excellent.
Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just had a big stewardship training last week with like
Oh,
18
nice.
folks that showed up. Yeah.
Oh, dang. Okay.
I think we're up to
Nice.
like 56 stewards now
Wow.
out there in the
Whoa.
system. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Nice. Also coming up, we have Wheels and Reels on April 12th at Juanita Beach Park. We're showing Gran Turismo.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Registration required. So
That's on the
plan
Jumbotron.
ahead. Yeah, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Is that Jumbotron lives in your building, right?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Really?
In
It's
the
up at
parks
the parks maintenance?
In the
Parks
shop.
maintenance,
Yeah.
Mm.
Got to keep it under cover to keep
It's
it
kind of
nice.
like a transformer. You should when you do the wheels and reels, you should have folks come early to see the Jumbotron expand to all of its glory.
You should have a little
Oh.
theme song music
Yeah.
too.
It's like a transformer.
Yeah, people would enjoy that. Thank you. You're onto something there.
It's unbelievable. It's like you need a crew to manage it. It's so big. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And of course, again, a reminder, as always, we have links and more information in the show notes for all of these upcoming events. And that brings us to our 5 over 5, Jason. That's 5 questions in what is sure to be over 5 minutes,
Oh boy.
covering 35 years.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, we're going to
Awesome.
hear all about the job fair.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll give a little plug. So Saturday, April 5th, at our North Kirkland Community Center, we're going to have a opportunity for people to come out and learn about all the different kinds of things out there that we have for different jobs. There's like 75.
Really?
Wow.
There's like 75 year-round seasonal jobs, and like in the summer, it's like 160 seasonal jobs
Wow.
that we have
So-
as a department. So there's all kinds of things from lifeguards to cashiers to helping little kids, program, instructors. It's across the board, operational jobs, working out in the parks.
Nice.
So it's a whole job fair around opportunities to work at the best parks department in the state.
Yeah, there's a lot of
There you
opportunity.
go.
A lot of opportunity, yeah,
Right?
for sure.
And
yeah.
that's kind of how you got started.
I did. I was hired back in 1990 as a seasonal employee, working out in the system, prepping baseball fields,
Nice.
and changing garbage cans, and keeping them clean and safe and beautiful. And I just loved it. It was a great job in college for sure.
All right, well, hold that thought because we want to, it's perfect transition, right? Come to the job fair to learn how to find your career in this amazing parks department, just like
Jason
our
Like
star
Jason,
park
yeah.
superintendent,
Yeah.
Jason Filan. All right, so Jason, let's take a step back. Where'd you grow up?
Walla Walla, Washington.
All right. Great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, grew up with a family of farmers, and when I was young, I spent a lot of time out in the fields working, doing
Did
stuff.
you think you'd be a farmer?
I wasn't sure. My grandpa gave me a really hard time when I came over to the coast. We call it the coast if you live from East Rwanda, right?
Oh,
And,
we're on
so
the coast.
We're on the coast,
Right now we're on the
exactly,
coast.
right? We're on the
Oh, okay.
coast.
Gotcha.
And so every Christmas he'd give me a pitch about being a farmer, and I'd say, "Oh, Grandpa, thanks so much. I got to make my own way."
Yeah.
So I never did become a farmer. I became kind of an urban farmer,
Yeah.
right? Because
there
I'm
it
planting
is.
trees and doing all kinds of cool things out there to make our parks healthier and beautiful and clean and safe. So I was kind of a farmer, but kind of not, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But kind of what you were saying when your grandpa was saying that was, thank you, Grandpa, but I really got to chuck a couple of 3-pointers, right? Because you're
I did.
aspiring star basketball player growing
Yeah,
up.
out of high school, I did come over to attend the University of Washington.
Division
And,
One,
Basketball.
Pac-10
Yeah.
at the time.
Wow.
Wow.
That's for
Yeah,
reals,
so-
man.
Yeah.
You were a baller.
I did play a little basketball.
Yeah.
And I had an uncle that was the coach at Northwest.
Here in Kirkland.
Here in Kirkland,
Ah.
and after that first year at UW, I just figured out that's probably not my thing. I really wasn't probably at that kind of a level,
Yeah.
and realistically, and but the
So
coach,
you thought.
the coach at that time, he was at St. Mary's, and he had taken the job at UW, so he was the one that convinced me, hey, you should come.
Yeah.
So I did. It was.
Mhm.
And I liked him. He's a great coach. Lynn Nance was his name. And but then I started hanging out with my uncle's players and just really liked them, and we gelled. And so I made a transfer and finished my career at Northwest, which is really wonderful. I really loved my years at Northwest.
Okay, so but in many ways, Jay, that's where the story begins. Because you head over to
Yeah.
Northwest University in the amazing city of Kirkland, Washington.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And you got, the team, you guys were young.
We started 4 freshmen.
Freshmen.
so
Wow.
kinda-
You were one of those freshmen?
I was one of those freshmen.
Yeah.
3 of my other buddies. And so we kind of took our lumps that first year.
Yeah.
But by the time we were sophomores and juniors, we started being pretty
Started
competitive.
gelling a
Yeah,
little bit.
that's the way to do
being
it.
pretty competitive, yeah. So
But you were so competitive.
yeah, we actually in 1993 we won a national championship there at Northwest. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Northwest
so-
University in the NAIA.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
like kind of like Division II.
It's a little
below Division
yep.
2.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but
You and this band of freshmen
yeah.
who stuck together through thick and thin
Yep.
won the national championship
Yep. Yep.
for the NIA. And last time I looked, Jason, the United States of America is a pretty big country.
Yeah.
It is.
Now I
It
feel
is.
like I'm like seeing the like montage of the.
This is a movie. This is a
Yeah,
Netflix
it's
movie.
a movie.
But now hang on. So that championship came in 1993. I heard you mention before that you started as a seasonal with City of Kirkland in 1990. So I
Right.
feel like in the background of this movie is Jason. You're working
Tending
out
to the ball fields.
tending
yeah.
to the fields, like doing
Yeah.
like
Sure.
how did that
Yeah,
like
at that time, I was a night seasonal, so I worked from like 1 in the afternoon to like 11 o'clock at night.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
While
It was
you were
it was
going to school.
Yeah, well, it was a great
Wow,
job because then I could get up
hustling.
in the morning, go work out,
Yeah.
work out for a couple hours, get a couple hundred shots in. It was a really good job for me in the summer times. Yeah,
That's great.
Well, kudos to you, man. That is amazing. You're a great student. You're on a team. And what was your position?
I played as a point guard or off guard.
Okay, so you were like running the show,
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on the matchup.
throwing up the 3-pointers.
Yep,
Yeah. Because I
definitely.
know you got the shot.
Yeah, cast
And
some
you're
threes.
beautifying the city of Kirkland, all while you're going to college.
Wow.
Yeah, yep.
Wow.
I grew to love Kirkland. It was a really great place.
Wow. That is truly exceptional.
Yeah.
Okay, so you graduate. What happens next?
Graduate. At that time, there was an opening, a full-time opening, and I was encouraged to apply, so I applied and got the job and just started working. I mean,
Yeah,
my wife and I
there you
just
go.
got married,
Oh,
and
nice.
so we bought a little small house up on Rose Hill, like South Rose Hill area.
Yeah, very
Bartle
nice.
Trails area.
Is that your house to this day?
It is. It is.
Oh,
the
that's
house
very
is
nice.
Yeah, my grandpa gave me a pretty hard time about.
Did he really?
Pay-
What's he
about-
saying? Come back?
Well, no, it was a price thing. So
Oh,
we
the
said,
price,
"Hey,
yeah,
Grandpa,
yeah.
we're going to pay $129,000 for this house." He's like, "Oh, son, you could move to Walla Walla and get a house, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, for like $60,000." I was like, "Yeah, it's in Walla Walla, Grandpa. It's not in
Grandpa, we're
not
on
in
the
Redmond,
coast.
Kirkland.
We're on the
Yeah,
coast.
it's the coast, right? Yeah." So I got to kind of make my own way here, but no, we bought that little house, and it was a great job. It was I was always really appreciative of the work, and for me, growing up on a farm, I work with my hands, so I was
Yeah.
used to working outside, and it was just a great fit, great people to work with, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, so
Yeah, so much of it is the people you work with, don't you think?
it really is. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Kind
for
of
sure.
fit in. You had the experience, so you kind of had a good direction, right when you graduated.
Yeah, and at that time it was a little bit smaller of a team and of a community, so I was able to, over a course of several years, just do everything out there.
So you've
that we did.
done most everything.
I've been the night guy, I've been the tree guy, I've been the pool guy, I've been the mow guy, I've been the you name it guy, right?
name it.
Yeah.
So it was really good for me to get all that kind of experience.
Yeah, so in addition to
Wow.
being awesome at everything, as you move up in your career, and kudos to the city for recognizing the talent, right? You went to graduate school.
I did. I watched my my immediate boss at that time, our parks manager, and he went through a process and didn't get a job. And so for me, it was like this little eye opener of like, man, I never wanted to be able to not provide for my family or be in a situation where you do all this work and then not given the opportunity. So I went and got an MBA.
Wow.
And
Wow,
yeah,
good for
so I
you.
had a
You
master's.
did that
That was
at night?
before. That was at nights. That was before kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. My wife was super supportive, and
good
I
for
would
you.
go to school at nights, and then I kind of just was in the right place at the right time. The boss retired, and so I was this young guy that had a lot of education,
Yeah.
and a lot of good experience, and they gave me the opportunity to be the parks manager. So it
Awesome.
was really
And
cool.
that was after you got your degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you get the MBA. This is such a wonderful story. You get your MBA. You get promoted into parks manager, right? Operations.
Yep.
Yeah. But that degree came in handy because we were kind of kibitzing a little bit about some fun stories over the last
sure.
35 years.
Sure.
And
Sure, you have
y-
some.
You know, there's a very, very business case story
Right.
that is really part of your amazing legacy with the city.
Yeah.
You got to tell us about that.
Oh, quick story. So the city was, we're always trying to save green space and trying to preserve, some lands for people to recreate in. And one of those spots was in Houghton, and there was a water district number 1.
Yes.
First water district in our state. And they had about 4 acres there. And that actually was the water source for the community of Yarrow Point. So
What does that mean?
the old timers back in deep,
Back in the day.
big day, they had dug these wells that came to this concrete collector in this basin, and then they piped it down the hill underneath Lake Washington, and then plumbed it up over on Yarrow Point, and that was their water source, right?
Wow.
Fascinating.
And then along comes 9/11, and then the requirements for water districts really
changed.
increased significantly just
Yeah.
for people's safety.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so the
gotcha.
city came in and said, hey, we would like to buy the property. And so worked out a deal. And I had asked my boss, hey, can you throw in the water right? The water right would be awesome if we could include that into the purchase. And like, I don't know. And so it didn't work out. But then after the fact, I said, hey, these guys have this water right, the directors and the folks that ran the district. And I said, I think I can get it for really a reasonable price, like maybe 30, 40 grand. And I said, I can do some permits and get the ability to use that water right to water our waterfront parks. We got a lot of waterfront parks that are, we like to keep in good shape. They're
It's kind of like
the jewel,
parks.
the jewel of our park system, right?
Yeah, kind of like the parks version of a merger acquisition.
Right. So,
Well,
so he says, "Well, put a business plan together and let me know." And so I did a little business plan for him, did a little return on investment, and so we were able to purchase 44 acre feet of water, which is about 14 million gallons,
Wow.
for about
Ooh.
$40,000, and in perpetuity, which means that we use that water every single year, forever, and it only costs us what the maintenance is in terms of like the power to run the pumps or to make sure the intake valves. They're all underneath the waterfront docks.
Yeah.
Of these intake valves that we
wow.
tied into the
Okay.
irrigation systems, and so. Yeah, really cool. And so, like
really
today,
cool.
like if you were to buy that water off the potable system, it's over 6 figures, right?
Yeah.
And so it depends on how hot the summer is and how long the summer lasts, but we are always able to keep the waterfront parks beautiful and clean. And actually been kind of a cool thing because we're not using water off the potable system where people use it for drinking or washing.
Yeah,
we're
you
using
get a credit, right?
we're using it at the very end of the water's life, which is in Lake Washington before it goes out to the ocean, right? So there's lots of nice values about that in terms of the actual water system itself, and then even the environmental part, because we're using this natural organic water, and it kind of helps keep our plants and our grasses a little nicer. It's actually really cool. So
Now, Jason,
Wow.
there was something in you
Bravo.
at that time that was like, we need the water right. Like, what? Why was that such a thing? Like, many people might just be like, yeah, okay, well, that's fine, move on.
well, coming from a family of farmers, I had a good appreciation for the value of a water right, and so.
Yeah.
But around here, everything's on the potable system, right? So
Yeah.
it's all just coming from, through
through-
our own water department.
Okay.
In fact, I really was enjoying teasing. At that time, our water manager was Greg Newman. And I said, "Hey, man, I'm
remember
not
Greg.
paying you $6
Not charging your
$6 for a unit of water, which is like 750 gallons, right? I got 14 million gallons we can use, right? So
I'm putting my education to use.
change, yeah, exactly,
and
right? But
life experience.
but
That's
part of
great.
the job too of being a public servant is it's just trying to always be thinking like, how can I do better by the taxpayers?
Yeah.
Right? How can I save resources? How can I be creative? How can I do some things that are going
And
to save? Right?
environmentally sound.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
kind of a win-win all the way around.
Yeah.
And thankfully, at that time, the director was like, "Yeah, move forward, let's try it." And so we did it, and we did all the work in house. We just did this little system project, and away we went. That was back like in not like late like early 2000s, like
Wow,
2001. We've been doing it for probably over 20 years.
And every year we get savings.
Well, yeah, because we're not
Every
buying
year,
water.
yeah.
Yeah, every year it's a 6-figure savings every year.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Well done.
Wow.
yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Bravo, my friend.
Yeah, no, just a little opportunity to serve
And that
sometimes.
brings us full circle to the job fair.
The job fair, yep.
Yes.
You
Come
too,
out April 5th, right? Yeah.
Come on down April 5th. You too can find a pathway to purpose-driven, environmentally sound employment with wonderful people.
Right.
How about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, we have a great
Beautiful.
Parks and Community Services has a wonderful team. A lot of great folks.
And so y'all are hiring both for kind of on the maintenance side, kind of more the like tending to the parks.
Right.
and
There's
stuff.
operation openings. There's
Operations.
lots of openings in recreation.
Oh, nice.
That's where the
Okay.
bulk of them are with
gotcha.
lifeguards and
Okay.
cashiers and program assistants, folks to help out with all the day camps and different
Yes.
kinds of things out
Okay.
there. So yeah,
Department
pretty cool.
of Fun, right?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
exactly.
You guys kind of are the Department of Fun,
Right.
don't you
right.
think?
People love parks, right?
love
It's a
parks.
wonderful thing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So-
We
and
love
we're-
our parks.
And we're really fortunate in Kirkland. We have a wonderful compilation of parks that kind of cover the whole spectrum, right? There's waterfront parks, community parks, all kinds of cool stuff out there, trails.
And in that spirit, Jason, we'd like to play a little game with you. We
Okay.
created just for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Thank you. That was a wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful story. Your story is amazing. Okay, we're going to call this game Field Notes, the Wild and the Wacky.
Okay.
Are you getting nervous yet? No. Calm as a cucumber.
Yeah, I think
everybody.
he's unflappable.
Unflappable. We'll ask a question, and you tell us your wackiest parks encounters.
Sure.
Are you ready?
Yep.
We'll give you the context. And you give us the story.
Let's go.
All right. What's
Looking at a former national
Champion
champion
right
here.
here.
He's ready for this.
throw the ball up, man? We're ready to go.
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing you've ever found in a Kirkland park?
Chihuly piece of glass for sure.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Was it
So there was
fully-
it was really cool. So I think back in the day, there was someone in his shop that would place these pieces of glass like they had just washed up on the shore naturally.
Yeah.
So Dale
kinda-
Chihuly.
The legit
like
Chihuly.
world-famous
Legit artist.
And I think it was kind of like to
Wow.
create some buzz maybe or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they would show up in the region, like
Oh, okay.
Bellevue Parks and Kirkland Parks. And I happened to open up one morning and open up a park. You go to in the first thing in the morning and make sure it's clean and everything's ready to go. And there this was right there. And I picked it up. It was
wow.
really super cool.
How-
Yeah.
That is.
What did you do
Yeah.
with it?
I kept it for a while. Then there was a person I came across that just loved his glass. And so I gave it to the person. Like, here you go.
Aw.
Like, how'd you get this?
Such
I was
a
like,
wonderful
Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Just
really
showed up
cool.
on the wall.
Yeah,
You
so,
really are.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. What's the strangest animal encounter you've ever had while working in the parks?
Please say
Bro.
zebra. Please say
Yeah,
zebra.
Zebra.
There was some zebras that got loose a couple years ago.
No.
Not in our parks, but
No.
I would say a black bear for sure.
Oh, really?
Kind of
That's
unique,
pretty
you know. They
rare.
are
That's pretty
on
rare.
the east side a little bit, but not. We haven't had many. I've seen lots of like coyotes and deer and bobcats and stuff like that, but I had never been right there.
Were you in the
close.
park with the black bear?
Yeah. I was walking through.
Which park?
We call it Snyder's Corner.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
just middle of the
Yeah.
day, just. It was kind of weird, right? Just not a care in the world,
Just cruising.
going from site to site, just picking up people's bird feeders or whatever they do, just eating,
hanging out.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. People were kind of freaking
They were
out.
freaking
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But the bear wasn't.
No,
was
the
like,
bear was happy.
I'm
right?
ready for my next meal.
It was a nice day. It was
Nice
walking
day.
around. Yeah,
Bears love our parks. Everybody loves our parks.
Yeah.
yeah.
There you go.
That's the most unique one, though. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's the hardest or most unusual task you've ever had to do?
Oh, I would say being the city's sexton. You know what a sexton is?
No.
Well, if you look it up in Webster's, it's gravedigger. Yeah, that was my hardest job ever.
Wow.
Did
Yeah,
you actually-
I served up there at the cemetery. The city operates
because
and
you've
maintains the
essentially
cemetery.
done every job.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the city operates and maintains the
Yeah,
cemetery.
people might
Yep.
not know that. We have a
And
cemetery.
we have a cemetery, and so for about a year and a half, I was the cemetery guy.
Wow.
And
Are we talking a shovel here?
backhoe?
Backhoe?
But, yeah,
But-
but with the backhoe. But
yeah.
the aspect of the hardest part is just when you see someone lose someone, especially young
Yeah,
people,
yeah, yeah.
lose a kid, or just that was the hardest job for me for sure. But
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Jeez.
What's the most impressive or unexpected thing you've seen a parks visitor do?
Oh, unexpected. We had a customer that tried to drive from Crestwoods
jeez.
Park down to
Here we go, ladies
Forbes
and
Lake,
gentlemen.
back to the apartment complex down in Forbes Drive down there. And they took those
okay.
exercise stairs we have at Crestwoods. They tried to drive a Saturn down that. Yeah.
They tried to
Oh.
drive a
They made it
car.
down like halfway down. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Halfway down.
Where were they going?
They were
I
going
think
down
it-
to Forbes Lake Drive?
Yeah, down to the apartments down at Forbes Lake.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
real?
is,
Yeah.
that's like 60
Wow.
Try,
degree
take
incline.
a
or something.
shortcut there. It didn't work, right? Got high
No,
center about
it
halfway
did
down.
What
Yeah.
happened?
Well, we had to repair it and fix it, pull the car
Did they
out.
drive all the way down? They get stuck?
No,
they
they
got
got stuck
halfway.
halfway. Yeah,
Were they
so
okay?
I think they were okay.
Okay.
More or less, like probably pretty frustrated and shocked they didn't make it all the way. But yeah,
I can only imagine what
It
that
was a thing.
conversation was like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What were you
Yeah,
thinking?
what were you doing, right? Seriously.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Jiminy Cricket. Okay, next one. Have you ever had a moment where you thought, quote, well, I didn't expect to be doing this today?
Yeah, for sure.
What was that?
Multiples.
Yeah. Which
Pro-
one do you pick?
Probably the
Yeah.
one that maybe folks might appreciate the most is one of my staff called up in the morning and said, "Hey Jay, I got a body down here at Waverly Beach," and I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I was like a body? It's like, no, it's a cremation, but I think it's a cremation, but it's like a little cardboard box. I was like, well, hey, bring it back to the shop and let me take a look at it. So he brings the box back to the shop, and it has enough writing on it where I can kind of tell the funeral home and kind of tell the name of the person. And so I thought, well, I need to try to reunite these ashes with the family, right?
Wow.
And obviously that washed up ashore for some reason, right?
So, it was in the water.
It was in the water on the beach, Waverly Beach, So, and got the name and called the funeral home, and they said, oh, that's actually pretty old. We don't have those records. And so I'm almost going to start Googling and see if I can find like where this person lived, And through, I don't know, it took me a little bit, but some calls, finally found and got the number for the wife of this individual and called her up. And I said, hey, kind of a weird situation here, but I have your husband's ashes in my office, right?
Oh,
and I'd like to reunite you with your husband's ashes. Like, oh, Jason, thank you so much for the call. We used to live right next to the park, and we sold the house a few years ago, and that was always our special place. My husband died at an early age. They had this wonderful, all these wonderful thoughts and these experiences at their house. And so my daughter and I, we flew up from Los Angeles this last weekend, and we just wanted to place Michael in the lake, and just where he was peaceful. And so we were going to spread his ashes in the lake, and we went out to the end of the dock, and we kind of tossed his ashes into the lake, and next thing you know, this white devil bird came by and swooped him up and flew away with him.
Oh my goodness.
And what she was talking about was a seagull.
No.
A seagull came by, thought it was a little box of food or something like that, and flew away with her husband's ashes.
Oh my goodness.
And I said, how can I make this right for you? How can I help you? And she says, well, can you go back and put him in the lake for me? I said, well, sure. It's like a July, August type of afternoon, beautiful day. Like, there's hundreds of people at Waverly Beach. There's no way I'm going to go back there in the afternoon and do that, right? There's no way. I'm a city guy, right? So I get up like at 4 o'clock the next morning and then take the ashes down to the lake and put them in the lake for her, and gave her a little call and said, Michael's in his spot. So she was
so
super
sweet.
thankful. But it wasn't what I was expecting, right?
Yeah.
And spent a couple hours, doing a little service to the community on that one, right? But it's just,
unbelievable.
Kind of
what a story.
Unique story, right?
What a story.
Very unique.
But when
story,
she said this devil white bird came and swooped her up, she was pretty emotional. She was liking that.
Oh,
So
my goodness.
kind of weird. Anyways,
Wow. Those were some answers.
Yeah.
35 years.
You've seen it all.
been around for a minute. For sure.
Right.
We have just one more question.
Okay.
Well, you enjoying any favorite books, shows, movies?
Oh, I sometimes it's long days at work, so my thing is when I get home, have a little dinner with my wife, and it's whatever she wants to do. If we go on a walk, we go on a walk. We watch a show, we might watch a TV show, and I do like to study quite a bit. So I look at the stock tables quite a bit at night, and I like to do a little investing, and I like that too. I like to research and do the whole thing. I've been doing it for since college. I used to go in early before school started. There was a guy there at Northwest that he was an avid investor, and I learned so much from him.
That's great.
Dr. McMillan, and so I just kind of kept that same thing going. And
That's awesome.
I like to read at night and do my own
Mm-hmm.
little thing, So
Keep the mind active.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. It's
Sounds
Active
fun.
and engaged. Jason
important.
Filan, you are a wonderful human being. And
I
thank you for
know.
being on our
Seriously.
podcast.
for sure.
And for
sure.
serving the Kirkland community for 35
35 years.
That's
Thanks for
amazing.
the
We are
invitation.
blessed to have you and your service here in this city.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I love working for Kirkland. It's my home, right? And it's fun to serve. Yeah, we have a lot of wonderful people in Kirkland, right? So,
Thank you, buddy.
Very
All
nice.
right. Have a good day. Yeah.
And hey, everyone, don't forget to register for the State of the City and Community Appreciation Night.
And that does it for this week, everyone. You've been listening to This Week in Kirkland. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Special thanks to Nate Gettleman and Angela Brown for their behind-the-scenes magic.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next episode is April 3rd. Until then,
Stay connected, Kirkland.